It's the SawCast, where real people speak that real shit on real topics every day. And I go by the name of Stevo.
And I'm Ariel. What the fuck you do, y'all? Today, the topic is college, okay?
Yeah.
What niggas was on when they was in college. That's where I feel like that's what got us to where we at right now. Like, that's why we got so much knowledge. That's why we got so much,
Experience. Experience. That's where
experience. I
our
think
expansion of our mind started.
that, and I think, like, being social and things like that. I feel like college, like, helps you, like, for work, stuff like that, because you got to be social with a whole bunch of different people you really ain't normally around. You know what I'm saying?
It does teach you how to maneuver in diverse environments.
Yeah.
For sure. And
For
so
sure.
like I would say like it was a great catalyst for our networking skills
Yeah.
to perfect those and realize that it is good to know other people, to know other people's perspectives, because that's a part of the expansion of your open mindedness, right? So
I agree. So, what college did you go to, Steve-O?
me,
And why did you choose that one?
why did I choose the college that
Yeah.
I went to? I went to Indiana State University, and I chose that college because really to be a buck with you is because everybody always was saying like you following your sister's steps. Like we had a lot of similarities, so they was always like, oh, because your sister doing something, you want to do
That was
it.
more of a family thing, though. Had to be.
Right, but that was a-
friend thing, not really. Because in high school, we wasn't. Everybody kind
that-
of, sometimes that we were siblings, but we still had our own lives.
But
you
in
know?
family, right? But I established that in friends because of the family aspect.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm
That
saying?
makes
Because I
sense.
always wanted that separation. Because it was like I couldn't do nothing without them saying, "Oh, you got influenced by your sister." Oh, it's because of your sister. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, like yeah, I'm close to my sister, and that is an influence because that's a part of my environment. But damn, she don't influence everything I motherfucking do.
That's crazy.
So I just wanted to. I went to Indiana State University. They said it was like the HBCU of Indiana. If you know, you know. If you don't,
Vincennes
then
was
you
probably
missed out.
that.
No,
That was
Vincennes not.
straight black, though.
No. So I went to Indiana State University so I could have my own identity and just create and cultivate my own space in college. So you went to
Yeah, I went to the Indiana University, and the reason why I went to Indiana University.
Hold on. You went to the Indiana University
mean?
with a bachelor's in.
Nigga, we ain't talking about the degrees. That's the other
that's
SawCast.
Indiana. That's
Anyways,
Indiana.
we talk. The question is, what school did you go to? Why'd you choose it? This is the reason why I chose Indiana University, y'all. Indiana University. I did not want to go to an HBCU. And the reason why I didn't want to go to an HBCU is because I had HBCUs accept me and I had scholarships at those HBCUs. The reason why I didn't go is because I feel like it wasn't going to prepare me for the future. I've already, in Indiana, it sounds crazy, but in Indianapolis, the black people don't really have to interact with white people on that level. You know what I'm saying? You can really go through your life and not interact with white people like that. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, in order for me to be prepared for the future, I need to be around them. And on top of that, Indiana University is the best college in Indiana. That's what I wanted to go to. I wanted to go to the best college. And really, it was down to Indiana University and Ohio State. And I was like, Indiana University is better. Like, how am I going to say that another college in another state is better than my college in my state? Like, I feel like Indiana University was the best. And I was like, I want to go to the best college. And that's what the fuck I did. I was like, I'm in that thing. And I didn't, you know what I'm saying? You know, I got to flex, but I walked right into Indiana University. I ain't had to do no extra stuff. They went over my score, my SAT scores. They went over my my academic stuff that I was doing. They went through all my stuff and I got right in. You know what I'm saying? So I think Indiana University is the best college. Like when I went there, I knew it was the best college in Indiana, but then I didn't know it was the best college in the world till I went there.
In the world, she's crazy.
So I was like, that's why I chose IU.
What I'll pick you.
It was lit too at the time. It was lit at the time.
That was a good run that y'all had. One of y'all good runs of lituation for sure.
But is there a reason why you chose a PWI over the HBCU for you?
I was just finna piggyback off of that.
Okay.
And for me, honestly, the reason why I chose a PWI over HBCU was the distance, because I always thought about family. Like,
okay,
family was
you
was
didn't
always
even
a
go
thing.
home like that though.
But I was close to family though.
But you did. This
But
nigga.
we talk about the decision. We're not
Okay.
talking about when we in college. Because
True.
if we
True.
fast forward to
Before
when
we
we
get
in
there.
college, that's different.
Right. Right. You're right.
Um,
You're right.
because I always stayed close to home. With everything I did, I didn't really go too far, do too much. Probably because of the people in my environment. I never seen too many people doing that much, right? And you were kind of like one of the first people to kind of do a little bit more. So, the reason why I chose PWI over HBCUs just because I didn't know about it for real. I didn't really know about it, and what I did know about it, it wasn't appealing to me. So I chose a PWI because I was like, well, it's a little closer to home. If things don't work out, I can still come back to the crib, work, etc., etc. So my mind wasn't expanded at the time. I was kind of more closed minded. And that's the reason why I chose a PWI over a HBCU because I really wasn't knowledgeable. I really didn't even know, I'm Greek, but didn't really know about Greek until I got into college
Yeah.
for real. So it's like when motherfuckers was the people around me, I was looking up to was not motherfucking CEOs and shit like that. Motherfucker was looking at, oh, that motherfucking hustler. Oh, he got some bread. He got some paper. That's the nigga that I was looking at. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't looking at that CEO, that investor, all that shit. I really started educating myself after high school on shit like that. So I didn't really know too much about um, HBCUs like that. So I just kept it close and then stayed at a PWI. So that's the reason why I chose PWI.
Okay. And I feel like sometimes, like this is some controversial probably to say, but I feel like people sometimes who go to HBCUs are trying to find their blackness or like trying to get closer to the blacker side of themselves. But I was already super like to the core black. You know what I'm saying? Like so like I could develop my own community with inside this PWI. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to go to an all black school to feel like I'm black. I'm the blackest person that I know. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
like I feel like I didn't need that experience. And I feel like I could if I wanted to visit those places, that's always a thing in college. You can always especially when you of that college age, go and visit other places if you want to. So it was always an option to go if I wanted to go for that party reason. And then of course, like I researched, you know what I'm saying? And just like I've always been a person to do a little search, you know, read a little stuff. And I was seeing how sometimes at HBCUs, they don't have like updated facilities and stuff like that because of course they historical buildings and stuff like that. So it's hard to get changes.
Right, when you're still trying to preserve
Yeah,
the historic
it's hard to get
aspect.
changes
Yeah.
approved for historical buildings and stuff like that. So
Facts.
I was like, no, I want to be in a nicer facility because if I was to go to HBCU, it would probably have to be out of state. So that's the out of state tuition I was not on. And then on top of that, my facilities wasn't gonna be all the way top tier. And then I wasn't probably gonna get the top tier education in the field that I wanted to go in. Now HBCUs do have top tier educations in other fields, but like in IT, it was the university I was already at in Indiana. Really, they was on top of that with the IT because I know that Indiana State also had a really good IT program. So
They
like
did though.
they wouldn't. So it was like, why would I? It just didn't make sense for me personally. But like you know, if you trying to be a doctor, stuff like that, and lawyer, stuff like that, HBCU for sure. But like for me, IT, it wasn't. It wasn't the best move educationally, or I don't think I would have had the best experience as far as facility wise. I mean, I would have had fun with all the black people, but
Right.
that ain't always what it's about. You can make community wherever you go if you were that type of individual.
And to kind of piggy back off of that and kind of to add to that because you said something that was kind of interesting. You were saying the authenticity of yourself. You were already authentically cultured, right? So I believe that was a thing that kind of always played a part in the way we moved in college. Is because we was always authentic, so we always found authentic people,
True.
regardless of
Yeah, I
where we was
agree.
at, right? So it kind of didn't matter. And then along with that, we were kind of in our stage of separating ourselves from that. So I believe that we
That's
kind
true.
of, I believe by college, a lot of shit got owed to us. It started getting owed to us, right?
Yeah.
Because at like 15, 16, we was, as they say, off the porch. So we experienced a little bit. We had a little bit of fun, and the things that we had to do as kids we could still have fun and do those, right? There were people around our area who would throw parties for people our age. I would have gatherings for
That's
people our
true. That's
age.
true.
And
That's
people our
true. We
age
was
would get
already doing
together
stuff.
and already socialize.
Yep.
So from
You're right.
15 to 18, we was already socializing as groups. So it
Was.
wasn't like, oh, we finna go socialize here. Yeah, we're finna go socialize here, so we know it's finna be on a bigger stratosphere, right? It's gonna be bigger, more grand. But we was already doing that.
Facts.
And so we was
Yeah, I
kind
agree.
of more kind of getting into the education of self, wealth, health, sneaking on a different level.
Yeah.
So by the time we got to college, we like some of that shit. We trying
Education
to
is
shed,
way more important right now.
We was diving more into the education and the growth aspect, opposed to just diving all the way into the culture and the diaspora. To where I want to be super blackity black. It's like I'm already black, baby. I want to be black and educated, and that's kind of the direction. That
Right.
we
I want to
went.
see. I want to understand why. I wanted to understand why so many black people were here and so many white people were there. Like, what do they know that we don't know? So it's better to be in their world and understand what they know versus trying to go back to our own world and know what we already know. And then on top of that, we went to a school when we was younger about. They taught us about Black history when we was younger. So
Oh yeah,
we
yeah.
was already up on
we
that.
was light years ahead of a lot of people.
Yeah,
Who
like
didn't
we
have
already
that
knew. We
knowledge.
knew. We probably knew when your school was founded and all
We
that.
knew about your founders. And
We
shit.
knew already. Yeah. So okay. So what is ISU known for? Indiana State. Steven went to Indiana State University. I went to Indiana University. So what was ISU known for? I know you know what IU was known
ISU.
for.
ISU was known for lituations, man.
It
We was known
fun.
for
I ain't gonna lie, I
partying.
partied over there.
We was known for lit, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what Indiana State was known for. We was known for, like they said, like they used to joke and say in my time there, which was 2013 to 2017, fall of 2013 to the fall of 2017. So that's my time there, and they used to call us like the HBCU of Indiana because our black culture was culture in there. And so our culture center was kind of buzzing, you know what I'm saying? So we had black events and shit like bar crawl. The Q's there had the bar crawls. Everybody know in Indiana State about the bar crawls. Them bitches went up. They was lit. So we had events like that brought a lot of black people together. And some of our events that we had, you know, it's gonna be drama just because people was lit and hyper aggression comes with that, right? Because a person already aggressive,
Yeah.
they're gonna be hyper aggressive. But for the most part, we had chill, cool times. But towards the end, it did start getting kind of a little shaky. So that's kind of in the direction that it went. But overall, we was known for partying. You know, lituation. You know, you could come there, have a good time, go to the crib, be like, damn, my issue was buzzing.
Yeah, for sure. I did have a good time at ISU. I will say at Indiana University, we known for business. We got the top like business college in like the United States, one of the top business colleges, Kelly, and I had my MBA from there. And then we was known for partying at the time. We were actually known for drinking specifically.
Oh my God.
Drinking specifically.
Fish.
Like when you get to the Indiana University campus, you're going to get lit. You're going to drink. Like it's like if you went there, it's like when you get to Bloomington, it's like I don't know what it is. I don't know, your liver, everything in your body changes. Like you can consume a lot more liquor than normal, but it's about partying. It's about getting drunk though specifically. And to the point where when you get accepted into Indiana University, you have to take a mandatory class, and it's about getting drunk, and it teaches you how to not get so drunk, when to get drunk, stuff like that. Teaches you all about alcohol. So you know they know that it's an issue at Indiana University that we get fucked up like that. So it was lit. We had parties, and like I said, we was known for business. Purdue was a school that was kind of our rival. They a top school in the Indiana too, but they was kind of known for agriculture. We like business, so I've always wanted to go into business. So it was always gonna be IU for me, and then the parties on top of that. It was lit. It was lit in the mud. I don't know. I really. Steve, you missed it. You missed college a little bit sometimes.
Do I miss college? I would say that I enjoy college, man. I don't know if I miss it.
Right. Like,
But
I wouldn't want to
I
go
don't
back
know.
into that world and live in it. I had a ball, though.
It was
You
a
was crazy.
blast.
You was crazy.
It was a blast.
It was crazy. Maybe we should. I was like, I'm gonna shoot a clip up. Nah, maybe we should
shoot
put
a clip of what? Me?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Are
He's
you-
crazy in college.
Nah, I wasn't that crazy. I just had a few memorable moments. That was it.
Okay.
But I like college. I don't know, like to go back again. Okay. So, this one thing we was talking about.
What?
So we were saying if you went back to college,
Mm-hmm.
would you do the same thing all over again?
Yeah.
You would do the same thing all over again.
Nothing
You wouldn't
would
change
change.
nothing.
Nah.
You wouldn't change nothing.
Even though what I was on.
She was a vibe.
I was clowning.
You was a vibe.
I was clowning.
You was just experiencing life, man.
I was clowning.
At a
If you went to IU during that time, you know what me and my friends'
pace.
names was.
She was.
You know what my group was called.
Fledged pace, experiencing
Slick.
life.
Liddy.
Yeah, but I think I would change something.
What would you change?
If I had the opportunity, I would definitely would have went to one of them out of state schools.
You would have went to a different school?
I would have went to an out of state school. Yeah,
You would have more dead?
that wouldn't matter. I would have went to an out of state school. Like I enjoyed
Where?
it. Cause it was like when I went to Crispus
Crazy.
Attucks. When I went to Crispus Attucks, they had, and we was in high school, and they had the college, the HBCUs. Like it was like Grambling, and then it was like
We always talk about
Florida.
Grambling.
It was Grambling, and then it was like Florida A&M, Tuskegee.
So you did want to go to the HBCU. You said
I was interested. Yeah, I was interested in it, but I didn't know nothing about it, so I didn't really research it because it wasn't.
You didn't go.
Interest.
Okay,
It
so
wasn't that
I remember
interesting
at
for me.
North Star, I think it was, we went to a HBCU tour. You didn't go on that then.
What you mean?
North Star took us on an HBCU tour.
Touring the HBCU?
Yes, and we went to a whole bunch of. Okay, you must not have went to
I
that.
wasn't old enough.
Okay, I
to go
went
that.
to
I
an
wasn't old enough to go
HBCU
to
tour when I was younger, and that's when I knew I wasn't. I was like,
If I went on that tour, I probably would.
because I went on, because like one thing I will say, as advice, if you trying to go to college, is you definitely need to go tour the colleges. The tours are fun. It's a good time. And that's when you're gonna find out where you want to go. So I'm touring the HBCUs in Atlanta, like Clark Atlanta. We toured Morehouse and we toured Spelman because we was a co-ed group, so we had to go to all three. And I was just like, I know this ain't for me because I didn't like the way the facilities was looking versus the ones that they was doing at IU. Like IU was all new, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They had new technology center, new everything. And I was like, yeah, I'm on this. And it was cheaper to go to IU than it was to go out of state because out of state tuition. But yeah, so right. you didn't get to experience that. So if you did, maybe it would have changed your mind. That's interesting.
Went. Yeah, I probably would have went. I would have, even if it wasn't the HBCU, I would have went out of state to go to school, because I feel like it would have challenged me more to just do more. So I'm still at the place that I know that I should be right now, but still that's just something that I was like, I thought about it and I was like, I probably would. So that would be the only thing. I would still do the same way to how I did it.
Yeah.
Wherever I was at, I would have still did it the same way. But for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so our majors in college were in undergrad, I'll say, was IT. So like how was it being in the classes? I know for me being in the classes, and basically I was the only black person sometimes, and then the only black woman on top of that. Sometimes the only girl in the class. If there was a girl, it might be 2-3 of us. It wasn't that many girls. So it was just, honestly, it wasn't a big deal to me. Honestly, like I was, I feel like I'm in my family like closer to the age of the boys. When the boys start in our family, like the
runner boys,
Wayne, yeah,
the runner boys, yeah.
Wayne, Willie,
we started with the girls as far as the kids go, and then we did have a runner boys.
It's a whole lot of boys. So like I was around boys growing up and stuff like that, and like the two closest boys to me is my dad, and my brother. I mean, I was always with boys, so like it's not a big deal. I'm my dad's only girl, like so it's like it's not a big deal. My dad's like the youngest boy, and then it's like he got a lot of brothers, stuff like that. And then so like I wasn't really worried about it. I feel like I was comfortable.
A lot of male cousins too.
Yeah, I was comfortable, and then like white men don't really bother me for real. So like it was like I was in white men and Asian men and Indian men, they don't bother me, because as long as you like a strong woman and you know what I'm saying, you cool, you talk to them and stuff like that, people just be cool. So it wasn't really that bad to me. Like I don't have to be in a woman with a whole bunch of women all the time, stuff like that. I probably prefer to not be that way, because I'm the way that I am. I'm more logical and stuff like that. So it was just easy for me to be around a whole bunch of men. It wasn't even that deep. But what about you?
Being in those classes and
it prepared me for the future. It prepared me for my
future.
jobs now, because that's what it's like. And ain't that many black people. And on top of that, if it is, it's not that many black people. And then it's just like my classes. My job and my career, the way that where I'm working at, is just like my classes. So I was prepared.
So as far as me being one of the only black people in the class, I have a funny story that I share after I say how I feel about being that. So it was a touch of reality, but also it's kind of like a cool thing, right? Because I'm a curious person, like, and so like I be wanting to know how things work, why they operate. So I'm like, who are these people that I'm going to be working with, right? Who are these people I'm going to be reacting with and interacting with? Because you have to because I knew that I was going to be wealthy, and I knew that I was going to be a networker because I socialize very well. So I knew that, okay, I'm gonna be cool with a lot of different people, and I might not be cool with them for life, but I can be cool with them for a semester, for a couple of years, et cetera, et cetera. So it was kind of interesting just to get to know the different people in the class, because I'm like, oh, these are the kind of people that I'm gonna be working with. These are the kind of people that I'm gonna be around and involved with. So it gave me a first look at a first chance to talk to people that I never got to be around for real, because I wasn't around these people growing up.
No, we wasn't.
I was just around black people growing up.
That's it.
I wasn't, and if I saw a white person, it would be somewhere job or something like that, right? It wasn't like, oh, I get to take a class with them, I get to be cool with them. So it was like, I mean, I had white friends in high school too.
Yeah, of course. Cause we went to a township.
We went to a township, and our township, it was majority white.
We transferred from IPS to township. When we transferred to township, we wasn't around them. After that.
It was majority white. Even though our black, it's funny because it was like our colleges. It was like our black people was our group. The group of black people was.
But we still had more black people.
But it was still more white people at the school. Though.
It was still facts, but it was more black people in our classes than we was in college.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
but so
probably was 10 of us in college. I mean, in high school versus 2.
Right.
Yeah.
So being in college,
right.
with all that, it didn't make me uncomfortable because it didn't matter to me. I was here for grades. You know what I'm saying? It was more so about the information and how the teacher was teaching me. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to be in this environment because I know what I'm getting myself into. When I look at technology and the people that are on TV and the CEOs and all of that stuff, they're all of a certain color, tone, gender, race, whatever you want to say, and I already knew that. So I was like, bet. So then going into there, it was like, all right, it was just getting more comfortable. It was me like getting comfortable in those environments. But the one funny thing is, I had it was a dude that was in a coding class with me. And then the teacher he was like a super technical guy, right? So he would write all the stuff on the board, right? All of the info, like C++, like say we doing C++, and he writing what it is, what it is, what the definition for it is, what the symbol is, what the definition for it is, how to use it, and he would write that down. He would do like 20 of them in class per day, 20 of them. Then he'd go over them, then be like, all right, this how you do it. Practice it, boom, ask me if you got a question. One dude was like, black dude stood up, was like, what the fuck is this? He said, what the fuck is going on? I don't understand this shit. He said, well, he looked at him dead in his face and said, well, sir, if you don't understand, you might want to change classes.
Yeah.
Because that's just how it's going to be. And I was like, yeah, you got to learn this shit. You got to get with it. And that's one thing I will say, too. Is I should have took a lot more of them coding classes more seriously because I thought it was just schoolwork. And I just looked at it as schoolwork. But if I latched on to one or two of them, then it would have made my IT career a little bit more easier.
I will say
towards the end, it would have made it easier
I
because
definitely latched onto the JavaScript, and that definitely helped me in my IT
So I'm
career for
saying,
sure.
and that's one mistake that I made in my IT career. So if you younger and you watching this, and you in
Pay attention
IT,
to them.
pay attention to what's hitting. All that, all if you in a coding class, if you in a cloud
AI.
computing class, AI class, pay attention to that because that might be a skill that you can just use to make your life easier in your future.
Yeah. So how did I make friends in college? That's the next question we were supposed to
Bing,
talk
bing,
about.
bing.
I walked
Bing,
into
bing,
college
bing.
with my friend Camille. Shout out to Camille. We walked in together, and then we was walking around campus on the first day, and then Stretch walked up to us, which is our next friend. He was like, "I'm y'all friend now." He was like, "All right, we cool. We y'all friends now." And then Stretch used to hang out with like a group of people, and then he used to talk crazy about this one girl, like, I don't like her, blah, blah, blah. Then I was like, man, fuck her, you know what I'm saying? Because he's my dog, you know what I'm saying? But then I met her, and I was like, I like her. And he loved her. So, like, then that became one of my
One of your
closest
close friends,
friends. And then
yeah.
one of her best friend, I was end up being around her because I liked her. And then then she had her best friend, and I didn't know if I was gonna be cool with her best friend because me and her best friend was so similar. I'm like, I don't in that like if we that similar, sometimes we don't get along because we like the
Initially.
same. Yeah, because we like the same type of thing, same
Initially.
type of dude, same type of. I'm like, I don't know. But now, y'all, that's my best friend now. You know what I'm saying? So like her best friend, so we became a trio kinda. They was kinda closer than me in
For a
them
little
three,
while. For a little while, yeah, was.
we was a trio. We was going to. I think we had started being friends. We had started going to like workout classes every day. Like we was trying to lose weight, and that's how we got close. But yeah, like that's how I developed friends. I was just one friend introduced you to another friend, another friend introduced you to another friend, and now you got a whole bunch of long term friends. And we was all a group, and we all used to do everything together. A lot of us, I know me and my close circle, we all had our own dorms and stuff like that. So it was a vibe. Like we had our own jobs. It was damn near like we was living in a controlled environment. You know what I'm saying? We got jobs. We got our own places. We all lived in our own dorms. We ain't had no fucking roommates. Me and my friends. We ain't had no roommates. One of my friends did have a roommate, but her roommate was our friend. You know what I'm saying? But actually, two of my good friends nowadays had roommates.
Who?
Hey, she had a roommate.
Knew the other one. P and who?
P and K.
Really?
Had roommates.
Really?
And I fucked with their roommates.
Okay.
To this day, I love their roommates. Like, they
Okay.
my friends. So, like, just like your friends introduce you to another friend, introduce you to another friend, that's how I became friends. And then I had such a strong circle team in that, like, in Indianapolis where I was from, and it was like 45 minutes from IU, and everybody loved IU to come down there and party, that they used to just come and see me. So then I had them, like, and then so I had my friends on campus. Then my friend brought my friends down from that, and then they was friends with my friends on campus, and it was just, I had a good time. I ain't gonna lie, I really did. What about you? How you meet people, Steven? Oh, you joined.
How did I meet people? No, stop that. That's
You
not
joined
how-
that fraternity.
Stop it. Stop it. That's not how I met people. Because
You don't like that?
I ain't saying that I don't like that. I'm just saying that we can't contribute that to that because that'd be wrong and false.
Oh, excuse me.
So I came in with friends already. Like there was a group of us that from LC that played football together, that came in together. So I already had a group of friends that I came in with, and it was already I think a couple people that I knew that went to my school already. So
okay, I did too.
yeah, so it was a couple people that I knew already. You know, I'm a social person, so it was a couple people I knew at the school already, and then it was the friends that I had. So I always make friends off of friends as well because I'm always that social guy that's cool. And Steve don't really judge people for real. Like he accepts you how you is, but if I don't fuck with you, I don't fuck with you for real. But it ain't too many people I don't fuck with because you gotta really be a sleazy, grimy, sneezy type motherfucker for me not to fuck with you. But how I made friends was just genuinely, bro. Like I already had friends there. I made friends with their friends, and I'm a social person. So when I'm hooping or something, and somebody cool, I'm like, all right, bro, what you finna? Oh, you finna be on that later? All right, bro, cool. And then I see him, and then we see each other on campus. We dap up. After we dap up on campus, we see each other walking through campus. I might have a class with him. Okay, cool. If I ain't got a class with him, I see him and I see him hooping. So I made friends while I was hooping. I made friends from class. I made friends off of other friends. I made friends from being at events. And then as I got older, I made more friends from being in groups and organizations because we had the NAACP. I used to go to those events. There was another black organization that we had. I forgot what it was called, but we had a few black organizations. But the Culture Center, we had a Culture Center, and I used to go to the Culture Center sometimes. And then my junior year, when I became a Q, you know what I'm saying, the unshakable Q. When I became a Q, then I had more friends off of that, right? Because it's more socializing and networking as well that comes with that. Because going to different conferences and doing the business work that's behind the scenes, you meet and greet different people, going to picnics and things of that nature. So all the social events that I like to do and all the things and habits that I like to do were how I made friends just naturally. Like, so working out. That's how I made friends. Going to social events, going to like those kind of like networking events from different organizations that I was involved in, and just naturally, right? Because I'm just a cool person, so people be like, "Oh, Steve, bro, what's happening, bro?" And then they say, "Steve, bro, what's happening, bro?" 1 or 2 times, then that's my dog, and that might not be my man's $100,000, but we still can rock out, like, cut out stockings,
Okay, then. So how was the parties at the school?
Parties was pretty cool, man. Yeah. I feel like that was the last of the genuine parties, man.
Yeah, like,
and I feel like our era was the last
parties,
of the genuine
parties
at
Indiana University was Project X.
I don't know if they can still
Project
get there.
X. I
you
think
they can still get there.
Maybe if the millennials wanted to do something, yeah.
No, I'm saying like how we had it. Like you could go to a house party. It be buzzing.
Millennials still kind of do that. Like we bring each other over each other's houses, stuff like that. But
I'm talking about not us. I'm talking about like
no, I don't know. They weird. They generation kind of weird. But I'll say that Indiana University parties was insane work. Like I said, Project X came out back then, and that's how our parties was. Like Little Five was like in April, and I know it's in April because it was always near my birthday. Insane work. The parties, like you can just. Like a whole street would have parties and you just hop into each house and party. Like free liquor, free everything, but you gonna get you a bottle. It was fun times. We was drinking nasty shit, Burnett's and shit. Remember? I don't know if y'all was drinking Burnett's, but like New Amsterdam.
But nah, yeah, that's when vodka was around. That's when
just
vodka.
The
that's when
most
motherfuckers started trying
disgusting
vodka.
ass shit. But
Jose
we had
Cuervo
a ball.
And shit.
Like the parties was.
What's that one
work.
What? The drink that that people were starting to drink that people was kind of drinking again now.
Four Loko?
Yeah. Oh my
God.
Goodness.
That was crazy.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Goodness. The Four Lokos. Goodness.
We had a fucking ball. Our tailgates was insane work.
No. Top tier tailgates.
Yes. Our
university. When you think of university tailgates.
We had our tailgates was lit in a bitch. Like, oh my God. They were crazy. It was like it's so fun in the party. We didn't really have it wasn't a whole lot of smartphones and shit. You know what I'm saying? So like
it was, but it wasn't a whole lot of everybody
pulling out smartphones in the parties and stuff. It wasn't weird. You know what I'm saying? We had a ball, like everybody was dancing.
Bro.
Nobody, you came to dance.
Bro,
we was wearing stilettos we was wearing stilettos. I mean 6-inch stilettos, and we was walking around campus in 6-inch stilettos. We was running. We was hopping fences. We was doing all that in 6-inch stilettos when I was in college. That's a time where I don't know that it could come back to that, bro.
It's so funny.
Because they got Uber now. We didn't have Uber. Remember, we was going to the parties.
To college. We even jogged to a party before, bro.
We was on top of each other in cars.
Facts.
Because it wasn't no Ubers.
Facts.
Who's about to call a taxi? That was $30.
Car, bro? You got a car, bro?
Motherfuckers at that time was making $8 an hour. So $30 is too high. We all about to just get in this car together.
Facts. 5 of us, 7 of us. Let's get it.
We hopped up. Lapped up. And That was back then when you was getting in car with. You don't even know who you get in the car with, but we all got to go home. You going? You on there? Where you going? Where y'all going? To campus? I'm about to hop in here and go to campus. Or you gonna be stuck walking or some crazy shit. Don't nobody want to do that. So yeah, parties was insane. We had house parties. We had in Indiana University, we had NAP and we had IU parties. It was distinction between two.
It was a separation.
The NAP parties is where everybody from Indianapolis came. And they, like, people from NAP came and they'll have a party at IU. Retarded. But also the IU parties was, if you went to IU, you know what I'm saying, you would know about the parties at IU then. That would be the IU social circle party. Or it'd be a fraternity party. You know what I'm saying? That's an IU party. A fraternity party. Or a party where somebody that goes to IU have a party. Or like somebody at IU have a party at their house. That's IU party as well. Yeah, but if you come to NAP and you have a party, if you have a hotel party or something like that, that's a NAP party. And those parties was crazy. But I used to go to both because I knew both. But like some of my friends that was from like Michigan and stuff like that, they'd like the IU parties more because the NAP parties, like if you go to a school in Indiana University, well, at Indiana, you know to distinguish between an Indianapolis person and another person from another city. Right. A NAP person was a very distinctive type of person. Like we dressed a little bit differently. Like because in NAP we like women and men, like we are like a high maintenance type people. Like we get your haircut, you get your hair done all the time, makeup on. You gonna wear some lashes. You gonna buy a fit for the party.
NAP is dressed to impress.
You're going to buy a fit for the party.
For
so
sure.
like if you're not on that level and you don't want to do that, then that might be a little bit intimidating. You're gonna go to an IU party. Or you just like you want to experience a college type party where they got jungle juice and shit.
So since she went to a bigger university, there was more ground. Right?
You had a big university.
No,
big.
It wasn't that big.
Okay.
For real. So since she went to a bigger, like actually like university, like it was different day parties. Like our parties was like we would have, it was a party going on, right? And whatever party going on, then you might have other parties going on as well. But a lot of shit was kind of if you know, right? Because it was separated. Because our athletes would have parties, then our Greeks would have parties, but then we would just have an ISU party, right? So the ISU party is it might be the big party, but usually the ISU
that's
party
everybody.
That's everybody, but that's like at a homecoming or it's a certain kind of party that's going on. So
it might be in a
we probably won't have a part. So the Greeks probably won't have a party on that same day. We might have something
before.
Have
for sure.
We might have to pregame. We have a pregame, or we have something after. Like you know what I'm saying. If you know, you know. If you know, type shit. So we invite.
Is that why you barbecue? Barbecue.
Barbecue?
No.
Probably. It goes well though. For sure.
I always barbecue and
but
slap.
But I'll
get a plate.
But I'll say this though. So ours was more so like kind of separated. So it wasn't like we would have a nap party into that party. So it would be like a person. It's always a person that's college that's related to the party. Even if somebody napped through a party, it's always somebody from the college that they collabing with, because in our university, that's how it worked. Like you're gonna collab with somebody at the university regardless, or they gonna be a person to help you market it or something like that. So somebody from ISU was always tied into it, but we usually had separations to where we know, okay, it's gonna be a Greek party this week, next week we're gonna have the university party, but then one week it might just be a bunch of like if you know type shit going on. But either way it went, you could go to the bars. Least case scenario, you could go to the bars, get lit, and certain bars was busting on the weekends. Mm-hmm. Don't matter. You know what I'm saying? That bitch gonna be busting on the weekend. And if something going on that weekend, you already know that bitch definitely busting. But you always know, because everybody wanted to do something on the weekend. So you had different groups of people who always was throwing something on the weekend. So everybody always had something to do. So it was always something to do. It wasn't like, oh yeah, well, we just finna go here. We finna go here. It's like, oh yeah, bro, if you got a crib, then you finna have some people slide to the crib. But then if you know a lot of people, then a lot more people gonna want to slide. So how I used to do it is I used to throw something sometimes, but then I was on a ratio shit. My ratio got to be right. It had to be 60-40. Yeah. 60 women, 40% men. because I don't want it to be opposite because that throws shit off. Too many niggas in the party, too much ignorant shit that can happen.
Facts.
So you gotta throw more women in their face so them niggas can kind of fuck down sometimes. Cause so I'll be like, I used to turn niggas away. Like I'll be at the door like, nah, it ain't no party going on in here, bro. Somebody told me, nah, it ain't no party going on in here, bro.
Seen that happen.
Cause I gotta keep the ratio, bro. Cause fuck all that. Too many dudes and not enough women ain't right. So ours was really separated type shit.
So the most so I would say, just wrapping up, getting to the end of our college discussion, like the most stressful things about college was probably the financial aid is what you would have to deal with. I'll say dealing with financial aid, make sure you have all your ducks in a row. Make sure you know your social.
No goose.
Make sure you know your social. If you dealing with your parents, make sure you know all their information. Like you won't have to know every single thing. I feel like in order for like know your address, your social, your parents' social, whatever, if you're using that information. You need to know that because financial aid is very stressful in college if you don't know what the fuck you doing. But as long as you got your information on you, then you should be straight. But that was a big thing that we had to worry about and, still have to deal with after you graduate, like financial aid. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay that shit back. You know what I'm saying? Unless they forgive your shit, then that's different.
Some
and that's
people
what
have
we
been
trying
forgiven.
to get
Some people have been
done.
forgiven.
That's what we're trying to get done. So, like, if they ever say something about, if any president or anybody in the office say something about getting rid of student loans and you went to college, you need to be voting for them.
I don't say that.
I feel like you do because you need to vote for your interests. You need to stop trying to vote for who you think a person is. You don't know who these people are. Vote for if they say they're gonna do what they say they're gonna do, even though I think you saying no because we voted for somebody and they didn't do what the fuck they said they was gonna do.
Well, I agree with you on the vote for your interests. Absolutely. But I feel like as a group, as a whole, as a people, we gotta understand how much the government benefits off of the repayment of loans. Right? The financial industry, they get paid a lot of dollars off of loans, off of loan repayments, especially specifically student loan repayments. So I believe that it was kind of more taboo for us to think that, oh yeah, they finna off the student loan payments, they finna repay it. No, I don't really go like that, and I feel like we was kind of vaguely optimistic, and we shouldn't have been that optimistic about it.
We was.
But every other thing except for financial aid, I would say vote on your interest, but financial aid ain't on your point, bro. Cause we saw that they gonna twist and turn that 6 ways till Sunday.
Yeah. What else? What other things you would say, Steven, hardest things about college that you have to deal with?
One of the hardest things about college that you have to deal with is separating yourself from your old self. Because if you really want to elevate and you really want to change, you have to become a different person, and that might make people around you that you used to know uncomfortable.
I know it's going to
because they're not going to be comfortable with you changing because a lot of people want to stay the same. And then when you changing and you elevating, your mindset gonna change. So some of the things that you used to like, or some of the crowds that you used to, or some of the environments I would say that you like to used to resonate in, you're not gonna want to do that no more.
Yeah. Also, I feel like they also have this image of you that they already love who you are at that moment. So they like, why do you want to change this grand person? This real ass, grand ass, amazing person that you are.
Factuals.
You know what I'm saying? They like, why do you want to change that? Like at the end of the day, but they don't know what you go through as an individual when you alone by yourself, and how hard your life is for real. Because the way that you maneuver and find and figure things out and stuff like that make it look like your life is easier. And I'm talking about, I should just say my life is easier.
No, go ahead.
The way I maneuver through life, and I do everything that I want to do, and I figure things out, it makes it look like that my life is easier than it actually is. But that part in me that has to figure out things and all that came from trauma. I don't feel like I can sit back and not figure things out. I don't feel like I can leave it to somebody else to figure out. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that I'm owning and stuff like that comes from trauma, but they don't understand that. So dealing with that, when you deal with that trauma and then you change stuff like that, then they like, why would you want to change that? It makes them look at themselves and be like, myself, I think that what Steven was before was amazing. So Steven, and and then they see you get to another level. So what does that make me feel like? To me, because you think you like Steven as me, I think that version of myself is beneath me. They like, but that's top tier to me. Right. So what does that make me look like? I want to be like a trash motherfucker. That's what you think. You know what I'm saying? It all goes back to themselves. You know what I'm saying? Nice. And their insecurities with themselves. And it's like, right. Like you said, when you elevate and you change your surroundings and stuff like that, then you start meeting different people. Like in college, I was meeting Asian people. Our friends are Asian people. Our friends are white people, Indian
Arabian people.
And I'm learning different circumstances. So when we come around an Asian, a white person, or something like that, I don't automatically go into the weird, I don't like them type thing. Because I have friends and now who are like that. I understand their backgrounds. I understand why they're like that. But that person hasn't had those experiences, so they still looking at them in a certain type of aspect. You know what I'm saying? In an ignorant aspect. And so, like you said, when you change, it definitely
makes people uncomfortable.
That is a hard part of college for sure.
The change in I would also say the respect of your space, because it goes with the change. And so now since you're being this individual, you're cultivating a different environment for yourself. So you're cultivating a different space, and people don't respect that all the time because they want to respect the old you, but then they want to criticize the new you. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying, but it's like, that's why I understand when they say do what you want to do, live how you want to live, because people going to have something to say regardless. Once you figure that out, you be like, fuck it, it don't even matter, right? I'm going to love people how I love people, and I'm going to do what I have to do. And if they feel some type of way off of what I do, then that must mean that what I'm doing is making them uncomfortable, so they ain't did the work that they need to do to make themselves comfortable with self. And that has nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, that's a challenging moment, too, when you have, like, people that's close to you or that you was close with, and then sometimes some of them relationships fade because they somebody that the same and you somebody different, so now you gotta separate and elevate. Right. So that's kind of hard, the separation and elevation part too as well.
Thanks. So last question.
Yes, sir.
I think we already asked each other this. You kind of brought this up earlier, but we can wrap it up with it.
What?
So what do you, if you had to go back and do it again? I think we already asked it, but would you do it again?
Nah,
because you said you would go to HBCU and shit.
Yeah, so that's the only thing I would do is either HBCU, whatever it would be out of state. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like as I've gotten older and we've traveled more and I experienced more, I feel like it's made such an impactful. I feel like it's made such an impact on my life, like, and how I view things and my mindset. So I do feel like it would have been different back then, and then it was just fear. It was just fear. Mm-hmm. I was living in fear because I wanted to do what was comfortable. So I would say challenge yourself out there. If anybody out there, challenge yourself. And if you're in an environment where you can do something that's more challenging and more comfortable, go with that every time. So
I would say I definitely would do it the exact same way I did it. It was really, really fluck. But at the end of the day, it was lit. It was crazy. It was fluck. It was insane. I was on one. I was crazy. I had a ball.
It was lit though.
I got my friends. My dogs is still with me.
I love visiting, bro.
I used to let Steven come down with Wayne, because you know it's SawCast, Steven, Aerial, Wayne. They both used to come down and visit me, and they used to have a ball, and the women loved Steven and Wayne.
Even when I came to visit,
I lived in an all girl dorm too.
But even when I came to visit after though,
there you go.
Even when I came to visit after, it was fun too. Like even after you graduated,
my
years was fun too. Was fun too. So it was definitely enjoyable.
Yeah, because the Q's too was lit. So, but yeah, I'll say definitely I would definitely do the same thing over again. I had a good time, and shit, it's the SawCast shit on the hood. Thank you all for watching.
We appreciate y'all. Like, share, subscribe.
To the motherfucking SawCast.
And it's the SawCast.
And we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Thank you. That's the end of the SawCast, but that don't gotta be the end of the SawCast. Go watch another motherfucking video. We got hella good podcasts. We all motherfucking funny, all motherfucking hilarious. Go fucking tune in. It don't gotta stop here.
One-stop shop, man. We got what you need, man. If you want to be entertained, if you want to be educated, come here. This is the platform for you. Now go tap into the mother podcast.